Thanks for watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. Here are the headlines. Codex Trust Fund project launched. National Insurance Corporation of Eritrea holds a regular meeting. Collision of 3 trains in India kills more than 260 people. Japan's birth rate hits record low. In our domestic news, the Ministry of Agriculture, jointly with the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, representative in Eritrea, conducted a national workshop to launch Codex Trust Fund project in Eritrea on the 2nd of June 2023 under the theme Food Standards Save Life. During the workshop, which was attended by senior government officials, representatives of UN organizations and diplomatic corps, experts and food processors, the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. ERi-TV, pointed out that the main goal of the 3-year project is to enhance the profile, management, knowledge of Codex work in Eritrea. He confirmed that the ministry will extend full support to the implementation of the project to achieve the intended goal. In his remarks, Mr. ERi-TV stressed the importance of harmonized national policy framework that can avoid the duplication of efforts, which at the same time enhancing the achievement of maximum utilization of resources in a very rational, cost-effective way. In this regard, the Ministries of Agriculture, Marine Resources, Health, Trade and Industry, Land, Water and Environment, and Eritrean Standards Institution are expected to play their due roles, the minister underscored. Minister ERi-TV also emphasized the need for close work relationship with the Codex Alimentarius to enhance the country's capacity on developing appropriate national food safety standards. Food and Agriculture Organization representative in Eritrea, Ms. Esther Lusepani, on her part, mentioned that Codex Alimentarius was established by the FAO and WHO in 1963 to address consumers' protection and fair practices in food trade. Eritrea became a member of Codex Alimentarius in 1996, and the workshop was held to deepen awareness among the different stakeholders and the population in general. According to Ms. Lusepani, the FAO-WHO funded Codex Trust Fund project has shifted from a primary focus on supporting physical participation in Codex meetings to helping build strong, solid and sustainable national capacity to engage in Codex. Ms. Esther Lusepani also expressed expectation that Eritrea will make best out of this project in building national Codex capacities, raising awareness on Codex, and monitoring and evaluation and observing the Codex procedures. Mr. Takhlab Misgana, Director General of the Regulatory Service Department, speaking about the objective of the program of the project, highlighted that the National Codex Committee is now established from 8 government bodies and will work to realize the goals of the project. Mr. Takhlab also commended the support extended from the government bodies and development partners to make the launching workshop a success. During the one-day workshop, papers on knowing Codex, national Codex activities in Eritrea, quality assurance for fish and fishery products, Codex Trust Fund Project 2A were presented by relevant experts. After comprehensive discussions on the papers presented, participants passed important recommendations. The National Insurance Corporation of Eritrea held its 19th regular meeting on 3 June at Asmara Palace Hotel. Mr. Gabra Burhan Maharatab, board chairman of the corporation, said that in 2022 the corporation has registered growth by 8% and called for reinforced efforts to develop the agricultural project in Chambuko. In his report, Mr. Paulus Takhlab, acting manager of the corporation, indicated that compared to previous years, the corporation has witnessed less accidents and added that the corporation recorded 88.3 million nakfa profit from service sales, and the group life insurance has increased from 1% in 2018 to 8% in 2022. The National Insurance Corporation of Eritrea manages an insurance corporation in South Sudan with a minority shareholding, reinsurance share in Kenya and Nigeria, as well as share in the animal fodder processing plant in Adsogdo, and engages in other trade activities. Please switch now for a recap of the international news. At least 261 people have been killed and 1,000 are injured in a crash involving 3 trains in India's eastern Odisha state. One passenger train derailed onto the adjacent track and was struck by an incoming train on Friday, also hitting a nearby stationary freight train. A massive recovery operation is underway after hundreds of emergency workers reached the wreckage. The cause of India's worst train crash in over 20 years is not yet clear. Officials say several carriages from the Coromandel Express traveling between Kolkata and Chennai, formerly Madras, derailed in Balasore district after hitting a stationary goods train. Several of its coaches ended up on the opposite track. Another train traveling in the opposite direction, the Howrah Superfast Express traveling from Yusvatpur to Howrah, then hit the overturned carriages. All trapped and injured passengers have been rescued. It is not clear how serious the injuries of those taken to hospitals were. India's worst train disaster was in 1981 when an overcrowded passenger train was blown off the tracks and into a river during a cyclone in Bihar state, killing at least 800 people. Japan's birth rate declined for the 7th consecutive year in 2022 to a record low, the health ministry said on Friday, underscoring the sense of crisis gripping the country as the population shrinks and ages rapidly. The fertility rate, or the average number of children born to a woman in her lifetime, has decreased since 2005. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has made arresting the country's sliding birth rate a top priority in his government, despite high levels of debt. Plans to earmark spending of 3.5 trillion yuan, $25 billion a year on childcare and other measures to support parents. The pandemic has exacerbated Japan's demographic challenges, with fewer marriages in recent years contributing to fewer births, and COVID-19 partly responsible for more deaths. The number of newborns in Japan slid 5% to 770,747 last year, a new low, while the number of deaths shot 9% higher to a record 1.57 million. The data showed more than 47,000 deaths in Japan last year were caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Please sit now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Co-Trust Fund project launched. National Insurance Corporation of Eritrea holds a regular meeting. Collision of 3 trains in India kills more than 260 people. Japan's birth rate hits record low. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It's a good night from us.